G'day everybody and welcome back. I finally decided it's time to build a proper lathe spider. Max Grant gave me the shuffle along on this job when I seen him make a couple for his big lathes the other week. Don't laugh, but this is the one I built in a big hurry one afternoon to machine a piece of 7mm stainless rod about 1.5 meters long. I even screwed up the dimensions on this and had to center punch it so it was actually tied in the ball. But that can go in the bin and we'll build a proper one. So I have to modify or machine the actual casting or the back cover of the lathe. When they built the lathe, the hole in the back casting or the back cover isn't quite in line with the bore. I'll show you that in a moment anyway, so it's got to be machined out and then make a spider. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and appreciate you all watching. So the issue I have is the casting has been bored out, not concentric with the spindle. There's a big gap over here, bugger all gap here. I have to machine this out, which will give me enough room for a decent sidewall on the spider, slide over the shaft. Okay, so what I've done here, I've machined up just a plug really, and which gives me the center of the spindle. Used a compass and lined it up on this side and then just traced it around, and that gives me the outline that I need to bore this out to, so I'll get a good amount of distance all around. So that's the plan anyway. I just don't know how this is going to machine and how much it's going to vibrate and burn a big hollow casting, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the setup. A couple of clamps, a couple of copper pads under there too. I have a machinist jack up underneath, pushing it about here. A bit of tension on it just to take the bounce out of it. You probably won't be able to see real well, but if I spin that around, I've lined it up the best I can on that pencil mark, and it's not too bad. I'm just going to take light cuts and just gnaw away at it. It's not going to take long, I don't think. So where it is there now, it's about the widest part of the cut, so I'm going to wind the head back over, just take a shave out of it, see what it's going to do. I can tell you now they use green bog body filler. See it just here. Just hope there's not a ton of it in there. So far so good, and that's given out a pretty smooth finish too. Pretty happy with that. It's really not going to take much more, I don't think. that's it, I think. Yep. That's all it needs. Mission's done. Feels smooth. It's not even a sharp lip left on the bottom side. Run my finger around there, it's not cutting me to bits. Pretty happy with that. I was expecting that to be a real pain in the bum. I don't believe it. Cover's got quite a few scratches on already. Didn't put any more on it, thankfully. I'll go over and see how it fits. That looks a lot better. As you can see, I didn't quite clean the whole lot up, so basically that's still original, like original distance, but it looks a lot more centralised now, and that'll give me plenty of room to put a decent sideball on the Spider. Okay, so we'll start measuring up this spindle. Yeah, 52.97. Yeah, 40.2. The Spider's going to stay on there all the time. The bolts that go in the end of it that hold your material, they'll just be removed. Okay, I hunted through and found a piece of material. This is another one of them, try not to buy anything for this one. Well, the hole in the cover is around 75mm. This is 66. So I'm just going to clean, it'll be just cleaned up the outside. Okay, I've got a T&GG insert. I'm going to attempt just to clean up this outside. I reckon I can get a better finish than that. 65.92. Okay, I'm going to set up a bore and bar and try and do this internal. Okay, I'm going to have to run through this bore and bar just to open it up a fraction before I can fit my big bore and bar in. So I don't know how this is going to go, it's probably going to chatter like a bugger. We'll have a quick measure and see what we're sitting at here. 30.8. for about 32 mil. So I'm just going to keep boring this out. So you guys might go on a time lapse. Okay, I'm roughly out to 38 mil. I was having a fair bit of trouble with that other boron bar, with just building up with chip. I don't know how this one's going to go as well. So it's 38.77. Okay, the board's at 39. I'm going to take it out to 40.25. Yeah, just as I expected, a couple of chips got caught up. I'll just take a little light skin pass. That'll do. Now I'll start opening up this end here to fit over the spindle. Okay, going to go in 25 mil. That should be enough to hold it on the spindle quite well. And that'll leave me 50 mil hanging out the back. Okay, that's out to 52 and a half. It's hot as. I'll let it cool down and then take another measure and take the final pass. Okay, yeah, you have to bear with me on this one. I'm trying something different and something I picked up off Max. I've had a bore gauge for quite a while, but I've never used it. It's a Mitsutoyo. I bought it a long time ago. Never, forgot I had it basically. And I could have used this when I'd done that pulley for that Cummins engine. So it's an Imperial one, but I've been playing around and I've converted the dimension to Imperial. Set this up with the mic, like Max showed on the foam. If you go back and watch Max's video. And I've never used one before, so it's just a good experience just to have a crack at it. So I have taken a few more light cuts. So it's telling me I got 4 thou to come out, and that should give me roughly about half a thou to 3/4 of a thou clearance slide fit on that spindle, outer spindle bore, outer spindle dimension. Yeah, it's 4 thou remaining. So I've never used one before. This would be the first time. So that's why I didn't turn the camera on for a little bit while I just took a tiny bit out after it cooled down. Yeah, it's good to have the tools, but you got to remember you got them too. I'm going to link Max's video. It's better him to explain it to you than me. So if you want to go over and check his video out, then yeah, go right ahead. Very informative, I reckon. I just stuck a bit of Sharpie marker on there just so I can double check the touch off. So the little dial there should be on the 2. Well, between, yeah, closer to the 2 than the 1. This is a tense indicator. So, what's that, half a thou? Like Max was saying, because it's a tense indicator, it picks up on the lines in the, like the cut. Interesting. Maybe I do a just do a pass, not change any settings. Yeah, just do a pass and see what happens. We're about 3/10 over now. I didn't change any settings. I just went back through. But anyway, I've just got to break this edge, break that edge, and we should be right. Okay, I've pulled the back cover off the lathe. Them edges are chamfered. I'll take this out and see if it fits. Okay, just set the camera up. And you can hear that. It's got a tiniest bit of rock, like you don't even really feel it. I'm pretty happy with that fit. So I can put it back in the lathe now and I'll just clean this portion up. Rightio, I got it set up. I'm just holding it on the inside bore. Just going to face this off and then just clean up this outside. I'm going to put a generous radius, I reckon, on this corner, just by eye. Okay, that's the lathe work complete. Okay, I've decided to put 4 5/16 18 bolts because I had them on hand. They'll be positioned 13mm back in from this back face, from this face here, 13mm back. So I've just got to find centre and then come in 13mm, drill and tap, and I'll spin it around, and I've got to put just 2 set screws in the back side here to hold it onto the spindle, just 2 M6. Okay, that puts me right over the edge of this part and in the centre. So I'll swap this out for centre drill, and rotary table set to 0, so every 90 degrees. Spot them, then drill them, and then just tap them by hand. Swap it over for a 6.5mm drill, because I don't have a 6.6, and just drill them through. I'm going to have to take this out of the rotary table and drill them, tap them, because it clashes out. I've got two more to put in, 2 holes to put in for the 2 6mm set screws. Okay, back in the lathe, simply because when I put in the rotary table it left a couple of jaw marks, and it's got a raised burr where these threads come through. Instead of putting file marks, I'll just lightly skim it with a boring bar, I think. Going to get lazy. I'm just going to take a light skim on this outside. Don't you hate that? Found it. The mat on the floor's got, like, it's got all holes in it. Yeah. And they get full of swarf and they're hard to find. If you drop something, it's hard to find. It's a terrible mat. Floor mat. Okay. So like I was saying earlier on, when this goes on the lathe, normal everyday stuff, it won't have the bolts in it because this is going to remain on there. And when I want to use it, I'll just put the 4 bolts in and then it can be used. Anyway, we'll get it fitted up. Give her a spin. Might have a tiny bit of run out in it. Yeah, it has, but it's probably the joys of only having 2 set screws. It's not, could be biased in one way or whatever, I don't know. It's going to do the job anyway. It's not going to come off in a hurry. So I'll get the cover back on and we'll have a look then. Just chuck them bolts in. So these bolts, like I said, aren't going to be in all the time. These are 5/16, 18, actually stainless. So that's all I had. I'll give that a spin. That's going to work fine. Still got full capacity to the bore. And like I say, once, while I'm not using it, these bolts will remain out. And no harm done. Can't get caught up on it. No one's going to get hurt. Always got to drop one. Found that bolt. So these bolts, they're just going to live down in the bottom of the cabinet of the lathe, and just leave this on. It's not going to do any harm sitting there. I'm the only one who ever uses a lathe, so that mission's complete. Thanks very much, Max, for the inspiration on this build. It was it's good to finally have a decent lathe spider. And it was good to actually use a bore gauge too, because I'd never used one before. I never thought to use one before. But I'm sure I'm going to be using a fair bit now. Anyway, thanks guys. Really appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you next week.